I'm still hauled out here in the west of Fiji. I hauled out to paint the bottom and change the cutlass bearing. Those two things are mostly done, and this week I've got some pretty big projects to work on, like the lithium battery installation and the windlass. Those two things will probably be my biggest upgrades on the boat ever. Before I'm able to do that, I gotta do a couple things this evening. Mosquitoes. Such as sanding this green so I can paint it tomorrow, painting this red where the hard stands were, and changing the zincs. Last night I got as far as just masking the whole green strip and sanding this red, and then the mosquitoes came out with a vengeance. Now it's time to paint this green. There's actually half a gallon left to paint, so I think I'll be able to do pretty much half the boat. Don't know how that happened, but either way, getting it done tonight so I can just be done with the haul out. I'm nearly done with my haul out, finally. The stern tube went wrong again, but that's not worth explaining. It's a very boring project. Going in soon. I think the travel lift is actually coming right now. Looks like this big squall behind me might make things a little bit interesting, but either way, I'm just glad to be done. I'm in the travel lift parkway now. First test once I'm in is going to see if there's any water coming in the boat. And after that, I'll see if the engine starts, and then I'll try to get a slip. Fingers crossed, here goes nothing. There's water coming in pretty quick from the stern tube, so it didn't seal. Absolute fail. Something's not right with the stern tube. Going back to the hard. I think I'm almost done with the haul out again. Basically what I did to change it this time is use smaller bolts so the alignment's easier to get, and a thicker but paper gasket so it couldn't pop out of the side, which is what happened the fourth time I put it on. I don't even know. When I put the bow back in the water, it didn't work, but I think it's okay now. There's no lack of sealant on here, that's for sure. The bolts are stainless and the plastic washers popped off, so it's not a permanent solution. There will be some galvanic corrosion over time. It's just something to look out for, but I need to get a new stern tube made anyways. It's a design flaw. It's the final conclusion is they just didn't make enough clearance for the gasket to go on the side. I'm confident that it'll make it for a while. Now, since it's cooled down from 97 degrees, all I need to do is chamfer out the prop shaft so it doesn't wreck the shaft seal donut seals any more than it already has when I slide it on and off. But that's easy. I'll get this stuff back on tomorrow and go back in the water tomorrow.
Now is the moment that decides if I move into the mountains in Nepal or not. If this bloody thing leaks, I'm not going to be happy.
Alright, finally off. Engine didn't start, so I'm getting towed again. It's weird, it always starts. But whatever. Don't really care. I'll start it as soon as I'm going to slip. He's just going to tow me all the way there, then I'm done. Knock on wood. That way?
Yeah. So when you leave, you can leave the boat like that.
I have finally escaped the boatyard of doom. Last night wasn't nearly as hot as it is in the boatyard, but place to eat with mosquitoes. Slept in a plume of mosquito coil smoke, which probably isn't the healthiest thing, but it's healthier than dengue fever. I have 6 days before I go back home to Hawaii for Christmas, and before then I have quite a lot of stuff to do, so today's hopefully going to be a big one if I can tolerate the heat. I'm going to start taking the old windlass off, measuring the new one's bolt pattern and such. I'm going to pay someone to come sand the teak in this green trim down there for me. I can, it's like $50 US for an 8-hour day or something here. That's the one thing that's cheap in this marina is labor. So I'll get some help with that. It's just too many things to do all alone, and clean up the boat. Got all the bolts off for the windlass, the mounting plate. Now I just have to undo the wiring that's holding it on. I think it's under here. Guessing. Let's see. Yep. This installation was so dodgy. They used 10 gauge wire to go from the solenoid thing to the windlass. It's just pathetic. Won't be needing you anymore. Bye-bye. Okay. I got pretty far sanding the teak and sanding that green trim down there, and I realized I don't have time to put enough coats of varnish on before I go home, so it's kind of a fruitless endeavor. I'm just going to call it quits on the cosmetic stuff because I can do it outside the marina anyway, so it's really pointless. I'm just going to start packing up now. So with this new windlass, unfortunately the bolt pattern is too wide for it to fit over the hole. So I'm gonna have to get it a plate built. I'll probably start in that tomorrow. Build this out so the bolts can go here, allowing the chain to fall where it normally would. So I don't have to drill any big holes in the deck again. Then I'll get a backing plate made as well. well, because this was literally held on by fender washers and nuts that weren't even all the way on the bolts because they weren't long enough, so super sketchy. Probably a good thing I wasn't able to use it anyways, and I'm really excited to get this thing on because it's quite dangerous sailing without it. For the switches and such, I think I'll be able to move this, which is the chain fall, to this side, take this off, just cover it up. Over here, I'll be able to put the down switch in here. I don't think I'll need the up switch in here. I don't think I'll need the down one. And then remove these, glass over that. Should be simple enough, as long as the engineering shop does it reasonably cheap. I am back in Hawaii, hanging out with the family for Christmas. Didn't really film much of the boat prep on the way out because basically thought I was going to stay on the outer basin of the marina, and then last minute they said there might be a storm coming and that I had to move to the inner basin, which was a good thing, but it was a lot of prep and I just barely made it in time to make the flight. I did almost miss the flight, but I almost didn't get everything done. And now I'm just home, hanging out, stocking up on boat parts. Right now I'm oiling the tools. Not gonna be here that long, but it's a well-enjoyed break from the heat. I was gonna get the plate made in Fiji, like I said, and then turns out all the machine shops closed from like December 20 to January 6 or something, so I lugged the whole thing home. And yesterday I got the plate made. It's way overkill, 1/2 inch aluminum, not gonna break. In fact, the bowsprit would probably rip off the boat before this broke. Don't want that to happen, but it'll be all right. And then as soon as Christmas is over, which is tomorrow, I guess, day after, I'll get this drilled and maybe welded to this aluminum plate to the bolt pattern of the Windlass, and I should be good to go once I get back to Fiji. But I think that's all for this video. Might do some more stuff in Hawaii. Not gonna be charging Patreons for this one because it was just kind of me dealing with boring nonsense, but thanks for watching and Merry Christmas.